Andres from AA Sports, back with more news regarding the Mexico national team and their future games in September following the Gold Cup. I already did a video on this. However, there were still some details that we did not know about those games at the time of that video. And news regarding Mexico's October games has also been announced as well. So with that, I am back with another Mexico national team news video covering their September and October games as they prepare and build up for the 2026 World Cup. Both games against Japan and South Korea have been confirmed. Those will be Mexico's opponents in September, with the game versus Japan set to be held in the Oakland Coliseum, and we now know where the second game against South Korea will be held. The Mexico national team announced that the game versus South Korea on September 9th will be played in Nashville at Geodis Park, where Nashville's MLS team plays its home games. This is a newer stadium and definitely on the better end of MLS stadiums, with a capacity of 30,000 people. So very similar in size to Estadio Nemesio 10 in Toluca. I like this and I don't like this at the same time. Hear me out. Starting with the positive aspects of having this game in Nashville. The first and obvious one is the fact that they are playing in one of the newer football stadiums in the US. As we know already, the game against Japan will be played in the Oakland Coliseum, which is a very questionable venue for any international football match, as it is one of the worst stadiums in the country with no renovations and the stadium's infrastructure deteriorating. So to have it in a clean, well-built stadium that was properly built for football, that is a very, very good thing. The second good thing that comes out of this is this will be an opportunity for Mexicans living in Nashville to go and see their national team play in person. Mexico has played in Nashville before at Nissan Stadium on 3 occasions. And while the crowd is nowhere near as big as it would be if they were playing in California or in a city like Chicago, they definitely don't sell out Nissan Stadium, that's true. And because of that, usually they close the upper levels of the stadium. Nevertheless, the smallest crowd they have ever had during the times they played in Nashville was just a little over 30,300 spectators. So to play in Geodis Park with its 30,000 seat capacity, they will sell out the stadium and it will look like a better atmosphere. So hey, shout out to the Mexican community there and anybody in Nashville who is part of the Mexican community who is watching this video as well. So here's why I don't like seeing Mexico play in Nashville. First, by playing in a smaller capacity stadium in comparison to the bigger stadiums like SoFi Stadium or Soldier Field in Chicago, my concern is that it does raise the ticket prices. And given there have been issues with that before, especially during most Copa America games, that isn't fair for the fans. And if we see inflated ticket prices, it will look like the Federation is getting greedy again, which was one of the reasons why fans began to protest following the Copa America failure. You had high ticket prices, poor results. Should the Mexican Federation try to do that again, fans should respond in the correct way, like we saw in September of last year. The second reason why I don't like this is that these big games should be held in Mexico. Most of these big games, like their game against Germany, which was in Philadelphia, are being held in the United States. The only games that are held in Mexico are their Nations League quarterfinals and the 2 games in October versus Valencia and the United States. Now, I get that Mexico's home stadium, Estadio Azteca, is being renovated. But again, I feel the Federation is ignoring fans in their home country and could and should hold more games in Mexico. For example, why not have this game in El Estadio BBVA in Monterrey to make up for the fact that the national team won't play a game there in 2026? That seems reasonable. And if they are unable to do that, they should do what they did in January for the hybrid friendlies in South America. Schedule an international break where the team travels over there, go play in South Korea. If you schedule a game, say, not just against South Korea, say against South Africa, for example, go and play over there in one of their 2010 World Cup stadiums and put your team to the test in an away atmosphere. That will absolutely help improve the team, knowing how to play when the fans are not on your side. And lastly, the third reason why I'm against having this game, both September games really in the United States, is the turmoil and unrest that is occurring right now, especially regarding the federal agents. Federal authorities had stated that it was confirmed that they were at multiple Club World Cup and Gold Cup games, and that has sparked fear among all of the fans. And we saw against Turkey, a lot of fans did not go to the game because of that. Now, I won't get too much into it right now. I do have another video addressing those concerns. What I will say, though, is it is a shame that it is affecting the sports world in the way that it is. And hopefully we can somehow find a peaceful and better long-term solution. But until then, I do believe Mexico should not hold games in the US, in my opinion, especially in an area like Nashville. Let me know what you think about this confirmed game for Mexico in September. Both confirmed games for Mexico in September. Let me know in the comments below. I like the games, but not so much the stadiums. Anyways, moving on into the next segment of news, also regarding upcoming games in the fall for the Mexico national team. It has officially been announced and confirmed that Mexico will play against Colombia during the FIFA October date. This will be another preparation game for Mexico as they prepare for the World Cup, and it will be held in AT&T Stadium in Dallas on October 11th. In regards to this planned game and my reactions, I think it is another good match organized by the national team and the federation, just like the games against Korea and Japan. It is true, Colombia is a very good team. We saw them make the final of the Copa America. And Mexico, it is also true, Mexico has not had a very good history when playing against this Colombian team, especially in recent times. They have only won one of their last 6 games versus Colombia, and in their last 2 games versus Colombia, Mexico ended up blowing 2-0 leads and losing 3-2 in both games. And while this will be a stat that people will point to in feeling nervous for this game, in my eyes, this is exactly why I like that Mexico will be playing against Colombia again in October. Because win, lose, or draw, this will be a game that will only benefit Mexico. By playing against a team that has historically been a tougher opponent, Mexico will continue to learn and improve on how to match their playing level. And by continuously playing against strong opponents, not only will this elevate the level of the Mexico national team, they will continue to gain experience that will teach them how to beat these opponents. Because you can't learn to win versus these teams if you avoid playing against them. And if Mexico is able to perform well, and this time beat Colombia, it will give them positive momentum entering 2026. With that, I absolutely love this matchup, and I am looking forward to Mexico again being tested against another strong team. At the same time, just like the game versus South Korea, and even the game against Japan, I again don't like the chosen venue for this game. The game versus Colombia will be held in AT&T Stadium in Dallas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And this is not ideal for many reasons. The first reason is that by having a second game this year in Dallas, the FMF, the Mexican Football Federation, is again ignoring Mexican football fans in Mexico. Mexico already played there this year versus Suriname in the Gold Cup. So why hold another game there? Mexico is one of the few teams that plays most of their matches, especially those that are considered home games for the team, outside of their own country. And it's not like fans in Mexico are reluctant to go to the games, especially when it's going to be held on a Saturday. Last year, Mexico held 3 games in Mexico. A hybrid friendly in Puebla, a rival game versus the United States in Guadalajara, and the Nations League quarterfinal game versus Honduras in Toluca. At all three games, Mexico fans turned out in big numbers, including sellout crowds in Guadalajara and in Toluca. Playing games in Mexico has always been great and was successful last year. Why not run it back? Why not hold a game in Estadio BBVA for the fans in Monterrey? Again, fans in Nuevo León won't see Mexico play there in the group stage in the 2026 World Cup, as Mexico's games will be in Estadio Azteca and Guadalajara. So why not hold a game there and give Mexico fans in Monterrey the recognition they deserve? And even if not Estadio BBVA, Estadio Pirata Fuente in Veracruz was just renovated and rebuilt. Seeing top-tier football played there again would be amazing. It could be any of these venues, but La Selección needs to play more of its games in Mexico, just like the women's national team is doing. And by holding most of their games in Mexico, even in smaller stadiums like El Coruco Díaz or el Estadio de Buap, it has grown the fan base for the women's team locally and within Mexico. And look at how it has also grown the team. They should be doing the same for the men's team. And the second reason I, again, already addressed earlier, is the turmoil and unrest that is occurring right now between the Latino community and a lot of the federal agents and ICE. The presence of federal authorities at the stadiums made fans feel afraid of going to the games because they were afraid that they might get racially profiled by the feds at an event that is supposed to unite people. They were afraid they might get detained simply for looking like an immigrant, regardless if you're a citizen or anyone's immigration status. We saw against Turkey, a lot of fans did not go to the game because of that. Fan attendance when they played in AT&T Stadium during the Gold Cup was much lower than usual as well. And there was even the debate on whether to hold the game in Los Angeles behind closed doors out of concerns of the protests and what was going on. It is a shame that it is affecting the sports world in the way that it is, especially 1 year out from the World Cup. It definitely isn't a good look. And again, I really do hope we can somehow find a better and more peaceful long-term solution. But until then, Mexico should not hold games in the United States, in my opinion, especially in these areas where the feds have been emboldened to behave and carry out more darker practices right now. With these matches and the stadiums officially confirmed, in terms of grading the Mexican Football Federation's management here, I'm giving the Federation a B grade right now. I like the matchups against South Korea and Colombia, as well as the matchup against Japan, as more competitive games like this will help improve the team. And to be fair, the chosen stadiums for these games are better than having another game in Oakland Coliseum. Yikers. Yikers. At the same time, the venues being in the United States is also a point of criticism. And I think those points are valid, which is why I think a B grade is the correct grade for the Mexican Football Federation here. Nevertheless, they are Mexico games that I am still looking forward to watching, and hopefully Mexico gets 2 wins and 3 wins if you also include their planned game versus Japan. 3 wins out of these 3 games would be absolutely incredible for the Mexico national team. Andres from AA Sports. Leave a like and subscribe, and leave your thoughts on these scheduled matches in the comments below. That'll be all for this video. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Stay tuned in for more Mexico National Team content as I cover the team on this Sports Passion Project channel. Feel free to visit some of my past Mexico National Team videos, including my tournament grades for the team throughout the Gold Cup, as well as my grades for every team's performance during the CONCACAF Gold Cup as well. Check out those videos as well. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Vamos Mexico.